quing. Hi, bo. Quing, 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 quing. Hi, bo. Quing, 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 quing. Hi, bo. Quing, 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 quing. Hi there, I'm watching Skins, and this is my initial impression so far. I'm on season 1, episode 2. As you can see, here's this frame. Here's the characters. I'll point to them and I'll highlight them as I say. Tony is a terrible friend and is a terrible person. He treats Madison like nonsense, and I do not understand why Madison is with him. But they're teenagers, so I hope that they figure it out. Otherwise, nonsense friend, nonsense person. I do not support him in any of his endeavors. Madison, girl, you need to get up. You need to get up. I'm in my bed, levitating. Let me girl, get up. I don't know him that much, but so far from what I know, it's Dev Patel. I love Dev Patel. I mean, he's just I don't know. He's a fun character. I think he's funny. I also think he's a bad friend to Sid, and I think that Madison also is a bad friend. All of them are bad friends to Sid. So far from what I'm watching, I'm on episode 2, 37 minutes and 19 seconds. This is literally the same frame that you're seeing. Him, I don't know much about him. I know that he's Gendry Baratheon from Game of Thrones. You know me. If you don't, then you won't. But yeah, I think he's also a terrible friend. And I also think he's just, and also he must not engage in that pedophilia thing with the teacher, Miss Angie. Like, what the if? The way I fast forwarded, I'm like, we're not gonna try and romance this like Dawson Streak. But either ways, so far I'm enjoying the show. I'm not necessarily enjoying. I don't like the way they're treating Sid and Cassie. Love Cassie. Love Cassie. I hope she has a better life after during this whole entire endeavor. But yeah, I'm just yeah. They're really bad friends. Sid is he's those textbook nice guys so far from what I'm getting from him. He needs to be nicer to. He needs to wake up and smell the cherries when it comes to Cassie, and smell the cherries when it comes to Madison. But yeah, I don't support Tony. F Tony. Even though he's Nicholas Holt. Love Nicholas. F Tony. Either ways, hi there. I just finished season 1 of Skins, so like episode 9, and I have this picture here. Here it is. It's gonna be my reference point for the characters. I'll go into it more detail later on in this video of how I feel about the whole entire like season 1.
I really enjoyed that. The show is definitely one of the shows that are gonna be like on my like higher up on my like favorite shows list. Which Bridgerton was there. Bridgerton's not even. I don't support Bridgerton anymore. Shock, shock. I don't think I'm gonna watch season 4, and I don't think I'm gonna continue reading the books. They talk about breakups in life. About relationship. Bridgerton was a breakup. Season 3 smacked me in my face and punched me in my nose, and I don't appreciate that.
Either ways, I had to study for maths, and I was like, nah, let me watch the season for the season to be trash. Chris needs to stop with that pedophile, messing with that pedophile. I do not support it at all. I'm happy it's over. I know that he's like, oh, I'm in love. I don't give a flippity doodah. No child can consent. I do not support it at all, and I'm not gonna even speak further on it because I don't want to give it light moving forward. Anwar, I love Dev Patel, so I am biased because of that. I like Anwar and I also don't like him. But he's just he's a teenage boy. He's a baby. So, he's gonna behave like a teenage boy, like a baby. Like, it's sad. I think him and Maxi's story is quite sad because, it's a story about self-discovery, and Anwar is also participating in self-discovery. but that also means that, like, he's breaking his friend's heart. You ask me personally, how my stance on the LGBTQIA plus. I support them with everything inside of me. They are as human as I am. They deserve absolutely everything and more. If you believe different, you don't know what your own business is and how to mind it. Moving forward, I think that Anwar needs to, like, I'm happy that his father was just so, like, let me hold your shoulder when I say this, it's all okay. I'm happy that his father was like that, because the way Anwar's father talks to him is just crazy. I'd lose it. Like, I'm very sensitive as a person, and I get a lot of hate for that, and it's just like, um moving forward, Tony, character development on drugs. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, big spoiler alert, please. The season ends with Tony getting bumped or run over by a bus. I hope he doesn't die. I love the character development. I love that he's doing better for himself now. Not necessarily, but I love that he's taking the steps to do better. He is, as I said, being a teenager is hard because you have to discover yourself. And there's no escaping that. And if you manage to escape that, it's going to chase you down until the day you die. And if you die before it happens, then you're just gonna die miserable. There's people who don't self discover until they're in their 80s when it's too late. So I'm happy that Tony's doing it now, and I'm happy that he's taking the time to reflect upon his actions and change for the better for himself and for the better of the people that he loves. I love that. I love seeing that. I love seeing that type of community. I didn't like Tony at first, as you know, but yeah, I'm just happy that he's doing so much better now. I really didn't like him. I like that people were okay. Let me not say that out loud. But yeah, and then him and Maxi, that was like a shock. I was like, what the F is happening here? And then the whole Josh situation when he was inside of the house with Josh, and then he had the Josh is crazy. I thought Josh was normal. He's crazy. Michelle needs to run far away, and I'm happy that she did not associate with him. And I'm happy that, like, even if she finds out that it's Tony who sent those pictures, I still don't want her to be with Josh. The fact that Josh was willing to Tony and Tony's little sister Effie is just absolutely insane. Like, you a grown person. I don't know how old Josh is. Josh gives me like 21, 23. You shouldn't be messing around with kids like that. What? Pinning Tony down, taking off his clothes and stuff like that whilst Tony's busy crying. I don't care what happened. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. That's disgusting. Yeah, I feel very bad for Tony because of that. Effie, she's not one of the main cast members in this season just yet. I know that she's going to be in, like, I don't know, she's Gen 2. Nah, that's what I know that there's 3 generations in Skins, and everyone loves Gen 1. I'm excited to continue watching the whole entire thing. I want to see that guy. That guy, he acted in in Sinners and Lady Chatterley's Lover, and he's also in Skins. So many people who are famous are in Skins. The only person who I know who is British who isn't famous is who wasn't in Skins is Idris Elba. That's how you know. Even Daniel Kaduga is in Skins. By the way, Sid. I think Sid at first was an idiot, and that now he's improved. You see character development. I love that. He's developed as a character. I do like him and Cassie together, and I'm excited to see what that looks like in the next season. Hopefully, I see it. And yeah, I just think I'm happy that he's, coming into himself, gaining confidence, and all of that stuff that he needs to have, because it was just so depressing. Not depressing, but saddening to the heart to see what he was doing to Cassie. Like, really. And on that note, I'm gonna talk about Cassie. Like, Cassie, I felt so bad for her this season because she's here like, you, hello, can't you see me? I'm here. I want you. You're here talking about, oh, Michelle. Time she's with your best friend, your best friend Sid, and she's, yeah. It was just really sad. I'm happy that they're doing better, and I'm happy that she didn't go to Scotland. At least that's what I assume. I'm hoping that she didn't, because they went in, they sat and they held hands. But you know, people are trifling. So what if they were also trifling back in the early 2000s when they made this movie? And what if they're like, oh yeah, Michelle, la 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 la, she actually did, and he hallucinated that. What if? What if? What if? That scares me. But yeah, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that's not the case. We do like this and we do our prayers. Moving forward, Maxie. Oh, Maxie. I love Maxie as a character. You know, he shouldn't have let Tony in front of Michelle. But he acknowledged that that was a weak moment, that he was being very bad and naughty in that moment, and he acknowledged that and he moved forward. So yeah, whatever. I'll move forward as well. I'm happy that he knows Askies. I'm happy that he knows that he was wrong, and that he's able to move forward from it and become a better person from it. I feel very bad about the situation between him and Anwar, that Anwar's self-discovery is costing them moments of their friendship that they should be sharing, but I know that their friendship will be all the more stronger because of it. And yeah, you know, that's a part of life. That's a part of life, unfortunately. You can't go through life and never experience a bad moment. Ever. Ever. And unfortunately, you know, the bad moment happened now for them, but you know, they made their amends, and while he learned an important lesson from seeing his father accept Maxie. And yeah, Anwar's dad needs to be nicer to him. And I like the way Anwar's dad was like, oh, this is the love of my life. No, 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 whatever she says goes. Ah! Either ways, that was really beautiful for me. I feel like that was like gorgeous. That was really beautiful. It warmed my heart to see. Michelle, I'm happy Michelle's done with Tony. And I know that Tony's like, oh, I love you, Michelle, you know, because character development, he's learned from his mistakes. But that being the case, I hope Michelle never gets back with Tony, and I hope she never gets with Josh. And I hope she, you know, treats herself like the baddie that she knows that she is, and improves on herself. Obviously, like, hey, the character development of Michelle is like very, it's, there's not much that happened in terms of her developing her character, but a lot happened in but the biggest thing that needed to happen happened, her leaving Tony. So I hope that she learns, listen, this man is garbanzo boots. And even if at some point he ends up being some great mastermind, you know, kind, loving person like I wanted him to be, you know, he messed me up once. It's just done, kaput. I hope they never get back together. You know, if this was me when I was 15, I would have been like, oh, I hope they get back together. But you know, I hope she doesn't get back together. I hope she does better for herself, and I'm happy that she's making moves to do so. Jal, Jal's hair is definitely going through it. I know her scalp burns because she's black and there's not a single curl in her head. I know her scalp is burning. I know it's itching. That being the case, Jal, the whole clarinet situation, I would have been a little mad at it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm happy that she was able to get it back though, and I hope her relationship with her dad improves. Her relationship with her dad was like very, it's very beautiful to watch, because I don't want to talk much about it. Moving forward, either ways, yeah, the relationship with her father was so sweet to watch. I like that she's able to have conversations with her dad, and she's able to like have serious talks with her father and be taken seriously, if that makes sense. Not too seriously, but like seriously in a healthy sense, if that makes sense. You know, I don't know what that's like. So it was nice really watching that. And then her and her brothers, I thought that was so sweet and stupid at the same time. I loved it. I loved watching it. And yeah, it was really, really sweet of them. What the F is going on here? Oh, sorry. Watch. Either ways, yes. This is me on the 18th of January. I'm somewhat satisfied with what I've seen so far, and I'm excited to start the next season. I'm really, really scared though, because I hope that Tony doesn't die. the way he was lying there, I loved when they started singing. I can't believe I didn't talk about that. I just saw it. When they started singing, I was like, with those old men peeing, going la 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 la. I was like, excuse me? And then Sid is there looking in the mirror, busy lip syncing. I'm like, yes. And I love that they took it seriously too. It's something I wanna incorporate in one of my future projects. Yeah, let me speak that into fruition. Yes. And you can follow me on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at lovingmssweetness. I've stopped posting my LGGs. I did say I want to focus more on my studies this year. I'm actually very terrified going into this year. I want to achieve, I don't even want to say it out loud. I'm absolutely terrified, but yes, I'm also very excited. And yeah, if you've made it so far to this end, thank you so much. You give yourself a hand. You have a very high attention span. You know, I'm not gonna shame people who have a low attention span because I'm one of those people, and also because, as I said, life is a highway. Judging people too harsh is just crazy, unless you know, of course, they deserve it. Like certain characters that I will never ever bring up. Moving forward, thank you so much for watching. I don't know when I post, but I post. And I got this flask. I've been wanting it for a while.